Joining us now, the Suns TV play-by-play, Bally Sports. You can follow him on Twitter, K1 Voice, or you hear him on the air. He's all over the place. Kevin Ray, how you doing, K-Ray? What's happening, buddy?
New phone. Who did?
Oh, jeez.
I love it.
I give you so much praise. I tell people he's the best guy in the business. I even tune in down the dial when you're on. It's
you taking it back now,
man.
Rock? Man, that's K-Ray. That's the man right there, Rock.
You would be disappointed, if not heartbroken, if I didn't fire a fastball.
That's right, man. Exactly right, K-Ray. Damn Skippy, man. Hey, let him have it, K-Ray. Damn right, man.
That's awesome. That's great. Well, hey, I got this. This is a great matchup, I think, right? We all want this matchup. It's going to be outstanding. So many storylines, but perhaps none are bigger than the Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook. And Kev, these guys are longtime teammates, complicated history, but they get to face off for the first time in the playoffs. How much are you looking forward to this storyline, or is it just a storyline that got created by the media?
Yeah, I would say probably somewhere in between. Is it a storyline? Sure, because they're former teammates playing against one another in a playoff series for the first time. But beyond that, I really don't think there is anything to it. But it's a narrative to some degree, nonetheless. Just two ultra competitors, in this case now trying to achieve the same thing. One of them will be home in 3 weeks, and the other will not.
And staying with covering this team, do you know if Kendrick Perkins has some beef with this franchise? Because it just seems like he always has these hot takes. He's already taken the Clippers without Paul George to defeat the Suns with KD. Where do you think what his beef is? Or again, is this another media guy just trying to stir it?
What day of the week is it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Any day it ends in Y, right?
I mean, look, I love Perk, but sometimes, well, not sometimes. I mean, clearly he doesn't have somebody like on his support staff, and Perk does enough stuff now that surely he's got somebody in a support staff role, whether it's a researcher at ESPN or whatever, but somebody might want to remind him occasionally, like, if you're going to have a hot take, there is a shelf life to it, and you can't have a hot take on you can't have a hot take on Monday and flip around and within 48 hours, change it to a different hot take, because that would suggest that you were doing nothing other than looking for headlines, clicks, and responses on social media. I don't know what to tell you about Perk. Like I say, I love Big Perk. I just laugh when he comes with some of the silly nonsense that he does, especially when it's based on the maybe unsound reasoning from time to time.
Well, that's an understatement there, Kevin. Kawhi Leonard, as far as we all know, there's no load management going on in the playoffs, and he will be playing. Your good buddy and fellow cohort there at the broadcast, Tim Kempton, had mentioned to us the other day, we were talking about who's going to get the duty or the basically assignment for one Kawhi Leonard. He threw out an Ish Wainwright potential start who played so well against him. Now, I don't know if he starts, but maybe he'll be playing a lot more and covering one Kawhi Leonard. All that being said, who will have that responsibility to cover one Claw in this game to get going?
Yeah, I think it will vary. I mean, look, this is not a Suns team that possesses a defender who is of the ilk that says, okay, this is your job. You're attached to him. And look, just the way that the NBA offenses run and the way defenses try to counter that, even when we had Mikal Bridges, there were times that, Mikal would get switched off in previous seasons against the best opposing offensive player. So I think it really is going to be a committee situation. I think that you will see at times Kevin Durant on a Kawhi Leonard, just like I think we will see Kawhi Leonard matched up on Kevin Durant. I don't know that those games will start that way because of the value that each of those guys present to their team's offensive capability. So I don't think any one guy has it. I think you're going to see a number of different players. Probably 2 to 4 different guys would have an opportunity to take a crack at him. And then you roll that into the defensive scheme. Might we see the Suns deploy a little zone defense? Because I guarantee you the Clippers will drop into numerous different zone looks.
Kevin, how important is it to get DeAndre Ayton involved early and often in this game to establish himself, to allow him to get his touches? And not that he won't be engaged in the game, but pretty much keep him dialed in and keep him aggressive. Does he need to touch it early and often just to kind of get those juices flowing after a week off?
Yeah, I mean, I think, by design, you'd love to see that happen. But as we know, you can go into a game with, a set game plan, but you have to be able and be ready to pivot quickly away from that game plan based on, the way you're being defended. So we'll see. I mean, do I believe that based on how I think the Clippers will defend the Suns early, that DA should have some early options, some early moments to get touches and make an impact? I do believe that. But, we could be 3 minutes into the game and all of a sudden that changes. So I mean, that's the beauty of the playoffs, man. You have to be able to, you have to be ready to make an impact when your number is called. It could come early. It could come late.
Well, speaking of that, hopefully an impact and early will be, we see the same guy in campaign we saw 2 years ago, who I felt was put on the map. Inconsistencies the last couple years. Does he have to be hitting on all cylinders, K-Ray, for this team to win this series and move it forward? And do you feel he can do that?
I don't know that Cam's. I mean, look, is he important? Absolutely. We all know how important Cam can be, but I don't think that if Cam necessarily has an off series, that his play, if it's poor, is going to suddenly undermine the success of the rest of the team. His importance is really no greater or no lesser than any of the other bench guys on this team. And for all the people who continue to kind of target the Suns, so-called depth or lack thereof, or talented depth, Monty's got plenty of ways he can counter it. We saw in those last 2 or 3 games where he rolled out Landry Shamet and played Landry alongside Devin Booker. That's the one thing I think we've pretty much come to a conclusion, which is it sure looks like there is going to be a starter on the floor at all times. So that means your bench is already shortened by
3 minutes.
That. And then just knowing that the bench rotation is short just because you're in a playoff rotation. So we can expect the Kevin Durant to play close to 40 minutes, if not 40 plus, in most all these games. Same thing with Devin Booker. Same thing with DeAndre Ayton. All of this barring foul problems or anything else. But, your bench isn't going to be expected to play 20 minutes. You need like 8 to 10, maybe 12 minutes from those guys when they're on the floor.
He's Kevin Ray. Got a couple minutes. Rocco Minucci, Fox Sports 910. Kevin, let's get your take. The NBA slapped the Mavs with $750,000 for tanking that last game against the Bulls on Friday night. That could have landed them in the playoffs. Was that enough?
2 minutes.
Is this the start of the NBA maybe kind of breaking down and getting this load management stuff to go away?
Look, I mean, that's probably what Mark Cuban gets paid for each Shark Tank episode. So
yeah,
I agree.
How much is it really going to hurt him?
Yeah.
I mean, it's bottom line stuff. To me, if you really want to put teeth into it, then you dock them a draft pick, which is why they tanked to begin with, right? Because they wanted to try and ensure themselves as best possible of not giving away their draft pick that they were readily able to do or willing to do in the trade. So, it's like that game I'm sure you guys play from time to time, something, nothing, or everything.
Yeah.
It's
1 minute.
not, it's not everything. It's not nothing. It's something. But to me, it's not something that's just all of a sudden going to make league owners go, oh my goodness, 750,000, we won't do that again. I just don't see it.
Well, Kev, this is what it's all about, right? It's been a while, so enjoy the ride, and hopefully you'll be able to give us some time during this long ride, we hope. So thanks as always for joining us, man. We appreciate it.
You got it, boys. Always good to catch up. Have a great weekend.
That's Kevin Ray. Check him out on Sunday, 5 o'clock, Bally Sports, Suns Clippers. Our State 48 Roofing, it's your call question of the day. Who do you feel will have the best chance to be the unsung hero for the Suns in this upcoming series? Will it be Campaign? Will it be T. Ross? Will it be Josh Okogie or Torrey Craig?
30.
Leading the charge right now, Josh Okogie.
Josh Okogie.
81.8%. Step it up, Josh.
Yeah.
Fans are looking for you to step it up. Be the hero, unsung hero.